Hello, 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 and welcome people back to the Restoration Cup of the 2026. And it is time to see another great match commence right before our eyes, one after another. This time around, I'm even more pumped to see what's going to happen after all, especially considering what we are going to be seeing today. And well, considering everything, considering the match that we have just shown, I'm just hoping for just insane example of some perfect performances from both of the sides, from both Quick Parsec and mrbeast Money. As for who will be covering this match today, of course it will be me, Tommy1, joined today by the lovely Gamili. How are you doing, man?
Well, hello, Tommy. My pleasure to. It's a pleasure to be here, and I mean a huge shout out to Subaru and Philopson for holding down the fort and passing the baton over to both you and me to cover this matchup between Quick Parsec and mrbeast Money. I do believe that this is what the second or third match, the third match if I'm not mistaken, that we're going to be seeing live broadcasted on the Resurrection Cup Twitch stream here. No time to talk about the players, no time to talk about the match here, as we're gonna jump straight into the action. We're already 7 minutes overdue on the stream because of how intense that last match was, so we're gonna jump straight into this number one. It's gonna be Adabana number one featuring Ethereal Winter. This is a lovely custom map by Arx, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, that's right, Arx. So yeah, huge shout outs to Arx for this lovely custom map, and with that said, Tommy, take it away.
I mean, that is definitely a very interesting map to see, especially as the first pick of this match, number one, just a consistency check to start it off with and just to get a feeling of what they can expect from each other, as you already see some already break coming in from especially Hifki and Hexi right into the entry into the first quarter, and it will be bringing at least a little bit of a score advantage back towards the team Iris after an unfortunate miss right at the start from Lion, but it is not going to be for long. There is still not such a big discrepancy in the combo that it will be mattering that much, and considering that again the map will be a long one, closing nearing towards the 4 minute mark, there is a lot of stuff to expect, but the score difference is unnerving. It will be going little by little towards the team Iris.
I mean, and that's why I was thinking, right? It's just shocking that we would see Quick Parsec go for such an aggressive number one pick early on, right? This is one of the most accessible maps in the pool, and so for that reason, you know, you'd expect it to be left to a later stage of the match before you can actually go, or before actually going in for the pick, because this is RNG. Both of these teams, both of these players on all of the teams have been showing a very, very solid level of consistency, a very solid level of proficiency when it comes to executing no more ones. And we are seeing just that happen now, as it just seems as though Quick Parsec are not able to put up the consistency that they thought they could. And with that, mrbeast Money is just going to run right ahead with Tutel and Viljoy leading the charge with their 700 and 800 combos respectively. But of course, Viljoy is going to find a miss, and that is going to slow down the bleeding, giving Hifkill some room to breathe here. But still, Tutel is shutting down any sort of recovery that he can muster. Not already a 100k score lead on the board, going in favor of mrbeast Money, and you know, it doesn't look like they're slowing down anytime soon. They have about a third of the map left, and as long as, you know, Tutel holds for a little bit longer, or at least waits out a miss coming in from Hifkill, I mean, their fate is basically sealed.
Yeah, I mean, the Tutel doing the God's work right now, getting the score advantage little by little, even in growing it more towards his side, towards his team side, but he needs to continue doing that because the score difference is not a big one yet, only 130k, and in the last quarter it might be thrown around in a moment's notice as he's still holding the FC, and finally the possible breakthrough, the possible comeback ability coming in from Hifki has been broken. He did find a miss, unfortunately for his team, and they will be considering after all the first point on the board towards the team mrbeast Money. But what a performance from Tutel so far. I believe it is still an at sea. The question is if he's going to be able to close it down. The great start to this match, an incredible, impressive performance.
Yeah, it's an extremely fiery start coming in from Tutel here. As we say before, you know, it was just for show, but unfortunately Tutel will be going down at the break of the next KR, of the final KR of this match. The square pattern jumps come in, and it's basically a done deal here already. 200k going in favor of mrbeast Money, taking this no more one pick from Quick Parsec and opening up this match with a first pick breakpoint. I mean, this is really, really good momentum coming in from the Iris side here, and I think they can be very, very happy with themselves moving forward into this match, having, you know, that buffer of the breakpoint so early on. phenomenal play from Mr. Beast Money, and I think Quick Parsec need to go back to the drawing board. They need to try to find some other outlet of attack, because again, I was talking about how risky going for such an early number 1 pick was for Quick Parsec, and I worry that this might be coming in from a position of just not having enough maps to exploit, not having enough material for you to use. And so on that front, it could spell a pretty dark story for Quick Parsec moving into the later stages of this match. But of course, it was only the first point, so we'll have to see how Mr. Beast Money respond.
Yeah, I mean, so far it seems like it is working out greatly for Mr. Beast Money, but as you mentioned, right, they have to find some kind of an opening, some kind of an angle of attack, as you said. There is just simply because of the situation, because of the matchup, I feel like that is just a bit of experimentation, right? They have to find at least some kind of an opening, some kind of a small hole that they can actually crawl through, and unfortunately for them, that was not the case with the Nomad 1. Aim is going to be still remaining closed for them, at least in the near future, but everything can change as far as we are going to be seeing a next pick coming in from Team Iris.
Yeah, and I mean, Team Iris here have the security of that breakpoint coming out that number 1 pick, and so I think they'll have a very, very easy time trying to play into this pool, right? Trying to open up the pool, trying to figure out what they can go for, and I think this Fremont 3 is a very, very good decision at that. Fremont, as a by nature, right, opens up, really reveals all the mods. It reveals a lot of information at once, and going for it so early is clearly an attempt to try to gather as much information as you can. You have the hidden hard rock, you have the hard rock, and then you have the raw skill set element that the map naturally puts onto the table. And this Fremont 3 is a speed Fremont 3. Map clocks in around 246 BPM. Doesn't feature the longest bursts in the world, but with differently numbered bursts, with a lot of spread out bursts and no streams, you can already expect that finger control is going to be a very big very big point of contention going into this map. You'll see, especially in the later KIs, a good mix of 5-note bursts, 3-note bursts, 7-note bursts, even 9-note bursts, if I'm not mistaken, and that can really eat your stamina. And at the end of the day, it tests your consistency, it tests your comfort at 246 BPM, because it's not just about being able to cap the BPM itself, it's about exercising a level of consistency that you can play this map not just with, no mod, but you can play this map with your respective hidden or hard rock, because that's always going to be an additional layer of difficulty for them to deal with. So I really like this angle coming in from Mr. Beast Money, because it tells you a lot about these teams very early on. It tells you whether Mr. Beast Money can look to opt for mechanics maps moving forward, and I think coming out of this GT3 ban from Quick Parsec, it's a very informed decision at that. So yeah, big fan of this Fremont 3 pick. The good luck, have funs are coming in chat, and we should be off the races very, very soon.
Yes, enough, and I'm hoping to see this Fremont 3 again. Just a great song and a great map to enjoy. Unfortunately, not a custom, but it is how it is. You have to find some normal maps along the grades, and this time around, it's still going to be a very fun experience, especially as we are going to be finally seeing it starting. MP Start 5 has been sent from the referee, and intro is coming. I'm looking forward to actually performance so far from Team Beast Money again on this type of Fremont 3 for the reasons that you have mentioned, and more so just to see how they are going to be pairing up with the general mod performances, right? Because I do feel like the overall mods in this pool will be advantageous towards the Team Iris, but they will have to prove it right here, right now on the second pick of this match, a second pick of this semifinals for them, and so far they're doing a great job.
Yeah, but of course it's still early days in the map. Satsuki is going to be the first one to find a miss on the hidden. Not too great of a start for them, as Mr. Beast Money hold a 3 FC lead over the 2 coming in from Quick Parsec. Already early on, speed as a skill set is a very polarizing one, so we'll be able to see very, very early on. We're going to be able to get a very clear gauge of how these teams fare on speed very early on. And already with the first 2 misses both coming in from the side of Quick Parsec, it definitely does tell us a thing or two in the difference when it comes to the consistency on speed from both of these teams in particular, right? You're looking at Mr. Beast Money packing the heat with Two Tail and Amastatic in their back pocket, holding hitting double 99s, almost SSs, and in the bottom row, basically beating out anything that Quick Parsec has to show. Hexy is doing a very good job trying to fend off the onslaught, but it's already 100k score lead going in favor of the right side, and we're already halfway through.
Yeah, it seems like at least for now it was just a decimation. They are going insane, getting through this panels without any trouble. So minded, what an insane actually chain is coming in from Amacetic that will be bringing down the combo and the score quite a bit, especially with a miss coming in from Willjoy, and that's the only combo standing for the team Iris is Total, and with a lot of accuracy dropping, it will be going faster and faster towards the team Rose, especially with another miss. Finally, final mistake, final combo going down from the team on the right, and now Rose with Hexy are still are able to get that revenge, get another point on board it seems, and a break point at that. Great start, great figure round, and great just continuous effort from all three players from the team of Rose, because they were able to recover insanely well.
A very, very rocky beginning on this Remod 3 for the side of Rose, but at the end of the day, they made me eat my words. I stand corrected here. It just seems as though Quick Parsec just had the overall consistency towards the end that basically beat out any sort of buffer that MrBeast Money could have held. And as soon as, they started falling one by one, that is how the cookie crumbled. Instantly, Quick Parsec stole that scoreline and didn't steal it, and didn't steal it lightly. That was about a 200k, that was about a 400k difference that was basically made up for Quick Parsec, considering that, MrBeast Money was 200k up. And then Quick Parsec ended up winning by 200k. Just incredibly quick. It was so quick. The tide shifted so incredibly quick. And now, Atomi, we are back at equilibrium. Both teams winning out on each of their opponent's first pick, stealing a breakpoint from each other. And with that, we are really at square one. Right? There's really not much information that we could have gathered here. MrBeast Money, the only thing that they got out of that map was that both teams could play speed, and that's not very useful information for yourself. Meanwhile, on the side of Quick Parsec, No Mod 1 giving that up to MrBeast Money, again, doesn't really tell you much considering how accessible No Mod 1 is, considering how every single player in this lobby will probably be able to play this No Mod 1. So at the end of the day, still, there's a lot we don't know about these teams, and it's going to be up to these later picks, I think, until we start seeing some trends begin to emerge. But with that said, Quick Parsec are going to go into the Hidden 2, and this seems like a very expected pick. This is a very, very sensible pick here. A lot more reasonable than I think the No Mod 1 that we saw as their first pick here. To put in short, right, Quick Parsec is packing in Yolkspie, and if you know anything about Yolkspie, this man is the reason why the Norwegian team has always been known year after year to be an extremely strong gimmick team. Yolkspie is a whole different beast when it comes to reading, and I think a lot of eyes will be on him going into this Hidden 2. Meanwhile, on the side of MrBeast Money, I definitely do think that they have tools at their disposal. I think these players are by no means horrible at HG2, but when you're going up against a player like Yolkspie on a reading map, it's very difficult to put yourself in an advantageous light. And this Hidden 2 is not an easy one at that, right? It's not an accessible one at all. This Hidden 2 is a proper reading Hidden 2. I mean, we've been seeing, this trend of A maps being pulled in Hidden 2, thanks Pez, for the past few rounds, but this map really is for the reading players. You're expecting to see a lot of overlaps, you're expecting to see densities galore, patterns that go into each other, a lot of linear aim as well to be desired, and every now and then the occasional slider is sure to trip you off if you're not comfortable on the AR8 hidden. And as a whole, I talk about this map not being an A map, being more so of a reading map, but there's always going to be that element of consistency that gets tested when you're seeing such big jumps being thrown at you throughout this map's 2-minute and 22-second drain. So yeah, it's gonna be a rough one if you're not well acquainted with AR8 HD, which is why I think Quick Parsec are gonna be looking very, very good going into this Hidden 2 pick. But that's it. It's gonna be an MP Start 5 being dropped into the lobby, and we should jump straight into Feast.
And I hope we will be eating Groot on this feast, especially, well, considering that Team Iris did ban No Mod 5 earlier, I do think that it will be considered even getting even more attention towards the possible disadvantage that they have on this type of reading, type of style maps, and it seems like it will be coming out rather early with already 8k score difference going towards the team Rose, already getting some misses on board from both of the sides, but the combo is still going to be getting a small advantage towards the team on the left, and they will be just running away with it little by little. The map is again not an increasingly big one, to only 2 minutes 22 seconds of the drain time, but when you have your spine on your team, that should be enough, especially if you are just going to be feeling great that he will be able to perform, but so far it seems like that is not really going to be the absolute case here. He will be finding some breaks, unfortunate ones in the first half of this map, but there is still a few KIs to get through. Let's see how he will be able to get through. It seems like he's going to be the one and only to get any combo on board so far. There is more and more misses coming in from both the sides, but the Spy is the only one that's standing tall in this Blizzard and is able to get what his team needs to see. And with that, the score advantage is flying towards the 100k mark.
And I mean, do you really expect anything less coming from Yokespy himself, right? Going into the second half of the map, completely uncontested when it comes to the scoreline. Completely uncontested when it comes to the combo in particular, right? I mean, the accuracy is being somewhat matched by Lion as expected, and with that miss coming in from Yokespy, hold up, the doors have been slightly left ajar as Zumi and Lion try to find some form of recovery, but Lion isn't going to get very far with his one, and down goes Zumi as well, meaning that we're going to continue to see this equilibrium take hold as Yokespy, you know, off the back of that very, very impressive generation when it comes to that score lead, is going to continue to allow his team to create an extremely large safety net that MrBeast Money just can't seem to climb over. Here, Yokespy is already pushing a 300 combo lead, completely uncontested in the lobby, which on paper might not look like a lot, but you know, when everyone else in the lobby is struggling to get 100 combo, yeah, no, this is the Yokespy show. HG2 are gonna very easily go into the hands of Quick Parsec, and a very, very good pick to escort them into the second ban phase.
Yeah, it seems like a great, again, just a big, great ability to get a second point on board for the Team Rose here. And, well, there was some opposition on the other side. Lion and Zumi were doing whatever they could to get a chance to bring a point on board towards the side, but unfortunately it is a reality when you are facing off against Yokespy. He will be doing some things to you, so it is how it is. 2-1 scoreboard is already before our eyes, and I'm interested to see what will be the next move.
Right. So we've already seen the gimmick pool being picked into for coming from Quick Parsec, right? I'm not. I can't quite remember. I'm just looking at the pool of maps remaining. I don't think that we really have anything that's extremely geared towards this hard reading skill set now. Really, the only close analog to this Hidden 2 in terms of reading was that Nomad 5, and given how that's off the table, I don't think that Quick Parsec have a lot of clear momentum to play into off the back of that Hidden 2 victory. But that's enough about Quick Parsec. Let's talk about MrBeast Money, right? They lost on that Fremont 3, so that DT3 ban coming in from Quick Parsec, baiting MrBeast Money into that Fremont 3. What's a good play here? MrBeast Money has now been left exposed on the tapping, and you know, tapping is it's a very, very good tool for a lot of teams, and the fact that MrBeast Money just cannot go into it means that they need to try to look for easy points elsewhere. And it looks like they're gonna try to play into Fog of War here. They're gonna go into this Hard Rock 3, Kyubami, no question. This is a very, very interesting map being put on Hard Rock 3. This is a map by the lovely Wheelwhip, and if you are familiar with this guy's mapping style in any capacity, you'll know that he's known for, you know, this very, very new gen freeform messy mapping style. We almost call it counter flowing or counter flow, where conventional mapping mapping usually prioritizes flow, prioritizes comfortable aim. On a bunch of alt maps, a bunch of Nomad 3s we've seen before, we will actively attacks this ideal, and you know, on a whole, it comes together to create a map that feels very uncomfortable to flow, but yet so incredibly fun to play as well. I don't know how he does it. Expect to see a lot of sharp angles, a lot of beard flow, as I mentioned before, but also a very nice mix of sliders and circles that create a map that is very dense in terms of its patterning. Of course, a lot of that density is going to be lost with Hard Rock making the circle smaller and the AR faster, but you should still be able to see a hint of that. And where this map becomes easier to aim, where this map becomes easier to read because of the reduction in density, you can best expect that Hard Rock makes this map all the more difficult to be consistent and and have a good stable aim, and it makes having good stable aim all the more important. But that's it. I do think we'll be getting straight into Kibani no question very, very soon. I'm a big fan of seeing this map, and as you can see, it's a really, really good song here. Now, to talk about the stakes coming in from both of these teams off the back of this Hard Rock 3, I think if Mr. Money win this, it's a very, very aggressive way to open up the second picking phase, right after the second ban phase that will happen after this Hard Rock 3. I think this winning this Hard Rock 3 opens up the opportunity for the entire Hard Rock pool, and it also opens up possible avenues into future control picks such as your No Mod 3 or No Mod 4 even. But that's it. That's going to be a question for later as we see whether they will be able to capitalize off this Fog of War pick. But that's it. They told me, take it away.
Yeah, they're definitely going to be facing off, getting some of those ways towards some of those more aiming picks in the future. But for now, we are going to be getting into the sprint mode. 2 minutes of this Hard Rock 3 will be deciding who is going to be getting another point on board, if we are going to be seeing the scoreboard equalized, or is the lead is only going to be growing bit by bit towards the Team Rose side. Here, as already in the first quarter, it seems like it is working out quite nicely for them. 20k score advantage going down bit by bit with after unfortunate misses coming in from Hifki, Spy, and now Satsuki, and it seems like it might be a better pick that some might expect, especially as Viljoy and Masetic are the only ones that are able to hold any kind of combo, falling because behind the line. Viljoy finally going down, but it is traded up by Satsuki, and Hifki and Yoxpy are just facing off against each other on the against Masetic and Lion, and now it seems like again the score difference is just going to be getting up and up towards the Team Iris, as long as there is combo and enough combo on board for them, and with another just full combo reset on the board. It seems like it is working out greatly for them.
Yeah, really. I mean, you put it very well, right? It's looking like this pick is shaping up to be a lot more decisive than we initially anticipated here. Like, it's not a matter of, Mr. Money just having one player that can God mode carry on this, like the hidden 2 we saw from Yospy. It's really every single player from Mr. Money just able to have constantly being able to have a consistent upper hand against the players coming in from Quick Parsec. But as I say that, we are seeing the next bar of the KI come in, and we in fact do see a solid recovery being mounted by Quick Parsec. However, that onslaught is going to be muted with the loss of his kill and Satsuki's combo. But on the side of Mr. Money, I mean, they are dropping like flies here. Viljoy and Lion alongside Anesthetic, all finding misses one by one. And as Yoxpy try as he may till the very end, it will unfortunately not be enough to turn the tide of battle here. And with that, we're going to go into the second ban phase, tied up 2-2.
Yeah, now the difference will be set in stone, just an equal 2-2 scoreboard. Will be interesting to see in the future, especially as so far we have seen a lot of shorter type of maps, and well, the sprint board will be changing up quite soon, as there is not a lot of those shorter maps left in the pool. The only trouble right now for Team Mr. Money is that they did not really solidify their advantage on the aim type of maps, right? No Mod 1, they won Hard Rock 3, they were able to get towards the side, but generally it was way too close for comfort. 100k, 40k score difference is not something that you really want to bank on, you want to rely on, and that is why we are going to be seeing it's going to be very interesting to see what is going to be the second ban coming in for the Team Iris right now, especially after No Mod 2 actually banned from Team Rose.
And I think this is a very understandable ban from Rose, right? There's no Mod 2 being banned out here. This is a 200 BPM mechanics map. Yes, it does have quite a lot of flow aim, but the flow aim the flow aim part of this map's difficulty threshold is contingent as to whether you can consistently tap 200 BPM. And given how Quick Parsec has shown their lack of confidence with the banning of that DT3, I do think that this No Mod 2 is logically a very rational pick here. Meanwhile, on the side of Mr. Money, interestingly enough, they're gonna look to take out the No Mod 3. I do believe that this is the ulti tech pick here. I mean, I don't really know what this skill set is. I like to call it alt tech because it features a lot of elements of, you know, the flowiness of alt, but it is a map that's just riddled with sliders, and you know, it gives you a very techy density-esque feeling when you do play it. I love old milk mapping. Cannot glaze that man enough. But with that said, number 3 is going to be banned out by mrbeast Money, which is interesting to me, you know, considering that they won Hard Rock 3 in a very dominant fashion here. But alas, you know, perhaps they have something else that perhaps the scores aren't looking too good on the sheet, and I don't blame them considering that Nomad 3 does have a very high reading benchmark that you need to overcome in order to even begin to think about aiming the map in general. Taking a quick look, so we're moving into the second bad phase here. I do believe the pick is in the hands of Rose. And I am anticipating them to go for something like a free mod 2 here, something anti-mod. It just makes a lot of sense after coming out of a very solid and very dominant hidden 2 victory. But they are instead going to look to pivot into the DT1. And again, another very accessible pick being shot out from Quick Parsec. And at some point, you gotta think, you know, maybe they're just a team that likes playing for the gamble. Maybe they feel comfortable even in the gamble. As much as I say, as much as I like to say that this DT1 is, you know, your standard aim farm, clip farming map, I do think that this DT1 has a rather unique flavor to it. This map features very big sliders, and the aim is not as clear cut as your typical, you know, 800 PP farm map. Now this map does feature quite a few weird patterns, and in the KIs it can get a little bit funky, but you know, we'll have to see if that is something that Quick Parsec are looking to play into, or, you know, perhaps they just like going in for the aim here. But yeah, this is an interesting DT1 pick for me, and at the same time, you know, I can talk as much as I want about how this DT1 is on the weirder side when it comes to DT1s. You cannot discount the fact that it is simply just a DT1, and by nature, both teams are going to be able to exercise some level of comfort on it, yada yada yada, making this pick inherently risky. But you know, I think personally it's good to get risky picks out earlier on in the match while the stakes are still low. But yeah, with that said, I mean, we should be jumping straight into the second playing phase very, very soon. And with that, I think, you know, the trajectory of this match will be very interesting depending on who wins this pick. I don't know about it yet, but I'm calling it, Tommy.
No, honestly, I'm not so sure either. I mean, so far, the aim did work out better towards the team on the right, Team Iris here, but it was not too close for comfort, right? That is the reason why we are going to be seeing DT1 again picked from the team on the left, Team Rose, and I'm really interested to see, to understand their thought pattern, why they are going to be getting towards those more aiming, more simplistic maps right off the bat, especially considering that they are not really in the big lead so far. But well, I guess they are going to be showing it off right in a moment as we are getting towards the DT1 little by little. Quite an interesting map, as you mentioned before. Again, it is quite normally some sort of more interesting flavor, and we will be seeing it off soon as the KI is starting just in the moment.
Yeah, and already we see the jaws of this map opening up as we move right out of the gates and into the first KI. Hexy gonna be the first one to miss at the beginning of this KI, and already you get to see, right, this DT1 is not your standard DT1. There are a lot of sliders to be found on this map, a lot of triples, and it gives this map almost a finger control like difficulty curve. But as we move deeper and deeper into the second third of this map, we see misses coming in from Viewjoy and Hexy alongside Amacetic as well, giving us a overall combo advantage to the side of Quick Parsec. And you know, we talk about this combo advantage here. It's really not much as of right now, right? It's only 10k going in favor of the left side, and as we move into some free combo section, we are likely just going to see Stagnation hit the board for a little bit longer. Hexy, however, finding the misses is going to quell the bleeding here. mrbeast Money still need more attack from where that came from. They want to bring it back, and that attack needs to come in from Viewjoy and Amacetic. Both of them currently holding 300 combo to their name, but as I say that, Tutel is unfortunately gonna fall, leaving the gates of mrbeast Money wide open for Hifkyo and Satsuki to have a firm grip on the scoreline right now. And as Viewjoy and Amacetic both fall. All the walls are crumbling for Mr. Beast Money as Hifka and Sasuke prove to us why the DT1 is their domain. Sasuke might find a miss, but it doesn't matter whatsoever. The FC from Rose is still intact. Might find a miss as I say that, unfortunate timing, but it doesn't discount from just how incredible this combined team score was from Quick Parsec. And with that, it's going to be an explosive start to the second playing phase with a 500k lead going to the side of Quick Parsec.
Definitely a great start off for the second phase, as you mentioned. I am really interested to see if they're going to be continuing going towards some of those more Amy picks, perhaps something along the way of something a little bit more ulti, right? Because we have seen some of the single tap, high BPM single taps in this map that might be a sign towards what will Team Rose will be going for in the future. But it is a question to be answered as for now. Will be a decision making from the team on the right. Team Mr. Beast Money will be thinking what they want to really go for from this point on, right? There's not a lot of maps so far that they really abused, right? They have won the HR, the 3 that they have picked. It was not really decisive, the difference was not a big one. And well, it is now a question what they really want to go for right now. After some of those tapping picks getting banned, TT3, Nomad 2, you might want to go towards some of those TT2 type of picks with 200 ppm, just throw speed, but it seems like they are not feeling completely confident on this type of skill set either. So quite a question what they really want to go for, and it seems like the decision has been made and HR1 is on the table.
Yeah, no, I think this pick comes in from you know, this pick is rather logical here, I think. We saw the only point that Mr. Beast Money has won thus far has been that Hard Rock 3 alongside the Nomad 1. Nomad 1 really doesn't tell us a lot about these teams when it comes to, you know, game plan strategy wise, but I think winning this Hard Rock 3 and winning in a very dominant fashion definitely gives you a lot of confidence going into the rest of the Hard Rock pool. So it makes a lot of sense that Mr. Beast Money would like to pivot into the Hard Rock 1. And from a, you know, from a skill set perspective, it also kind of makes sense here, right? Yes, they did lose the DT1, which was an A map, but they also won on the Nomad 1. And, you know, while these two maps aren't the most similar to the Hard Rock 1, it is a analog that we could potentially draw to. But enough about strategy. Let's talk a little bit about this map, Requiem of the End. I do believe, if I'm not mistaken, that this is an original song, yet another original. This one by the lovely 5 Kilobyte. This is a map that is very weird. It's like, it's MechTech, first of all, yeah, right? MechTech is the core is the core mapping genre or difficulty genre of this map, but I do think that this map is rather unique in how it carries MechTech. I look at a lot of the sliders on this map, and it's not a lot of kick sliders. In fact, the sliders on this map are very long, and when you look at it in conjunction with the hard rock of this map, right, it definitely paints a map that really demands a lot when it comes to your slider aim. If I had to put it in my own words, I would say that this map, the sliders on this map, take your cursor in for a ride. It really throws your cursor all around the map so that, you know, there's gonna be a lot of discomfort when it comes to trying to aim, because there's a lot of restriction on your freedom to aim when, you know, your cursor is being dictated by sliders that cover half the map at the end of every jump. So yeah, I'm gonna be interested to see how this Hard Rock 1 plays out. If I had to, you know, compare whether it's more similar to the Nomad 1 or DT1, I would say it's more similar to the DT1 just based off the BPM and the slider heavy nature of the map. But, you know, then again, Mr. Beast Money has won on the Hard Rock 3, and you cannot deny with the numbers. But with that said, welcome to Requiem of the End. Once again, huge shoutouts to 5 Kilobyte for being our lovely composer for this song, alongside Elia and Zydon for being our two mappers for this project. And with that said, let's jump straight into Atomi.
Let's see how it will work out for the team, especially as we're going to be seeing first mistakes already coming in from Sasuke and Killjoy. Fall closely behind by Yogspai. This is not really what you want to see if you are a supporter for the team on the left, Team Quick Parsec, but it is but a start. We are finally getting towards some of those longer drain time maps, finally towards some of those more consistency based things, and now it is finally the time to show off, especially as some maps have been played, some points has been put on board. It is time to feel the pleasure, feel the trouble, feel the nerves, get your hands shaky, and that we are getting towards the second quarter. We already see some more misses coming in, especially from Yogspai.
Yeah, no, I mean, Lion, right, with that 500 combo alongside Anesthetic, now 600 combo, both of these players on the FCs are really making it difficult for Hifkill to carry his team in any capacity here. Hifkill is going to be the last remaining FC on the side of Quick Parsec alongside Anesthetic, but in that war of attrition, unfortunately, Hifkill falls short as Anesthetic continues to try to hit with that 800 combo to his name, and, you know, the map is already halfway done. We're moving into the second half of this KI. Anesthetic finally goes down, but that's a 200k lead going into the hands of Mr. Beast Money. That's gonna be a tall task for Quick Parsec to try to bring things back, especially considering that they just can't seem to get a combo on the board. Meanwhile, Anesthetic, Viljoy, and Lion have been generating, you know, solid recoveries. Not the best recoveries in the world, but more than enough to keep any sort of attempt from Quick Parsec at bay.
Yeah, at least for now it seems like Amaseti is just strong enough, getting some of that incredible performance that is able to carry his team towards the 200k score difference mark, and counting little by little as we are getting towards the last quarter. There's not going to be a lot of map to get through. You are seeing the break, you are seeing the combos, you are seeing what is happening right now, what you have to do, how you have to perform if you want to make comeback, if you are on the team with Parsec. But it is not going to be the case here, as we are still already seeing triple break. I mean, Informs left, and it seems like all the hope has been lost. The combo is only going up and up towards the team of Iris. Slash Lion is going and getting the only person that's able to hold any combo in the last quarter, into the ending of this map. But the fate has been sealed. 250k score difference will be bringing another point towards the team Iris, and will be equalizing after all a scoreboard, getting it even closer and even more of an interesting match as we are getting closer and closer towards some of those more uncertain, more interesting picks little by little.
And with that, it's going to be a 3-3 scoreline on this series here. We are shaping up to see a very close match from both of these teams. A very, very well-fought battle here. But coming out of this Hard Rock 3 pick, I think it's clear to see which team favors the Hard Rock here. There are no more bans left for both of these teams as well, so Quick Parsec still have to deal with that Hard Rock 2 just looming over their heads. I think that's going to be a very easy pick for Mr. Beast Money to go into, especially given how they're coming in from back-to-back 200k leads on both Hard Rock 1 and Hard Rock 3 here. So, yeah, I think that's going to be a very, very nice way to go into the mid-game of this match, especially when, as you mentioned before, right, Atomi, this is the point in the match where we're going to start seeing picks that are less decisive. We're going to see picks that are a lot closer in nature. And so having, you know, tools at your disposal that you can guarantee points with is oh so important for your team if you want security here. And when, you know, you're tied up against your opponent, sometimes security is more than what you need here. One thing I want to talk about going into this matchup, right, is going to be the free mods. I think the key to victory for both of these teams is going to be centered around the free mods here. Already, we've seen the free mod go into the hands of Quick Parsec, I believe, yeah, on free mod 3. But I don't think free mod 3 is a very, very useful map when it comes to this strategy. You saw how many 99% acts we got on that free mod 3, which leads me to believe that on a whole, this free mod 3 is very easy for these players, and in similar to fashion to why no mod 1 really doesn't tell us much about these two teams, I think free mod 1 doesn't paint the full story when it comes to how strong these two teams are on the free mod. Now, what we do know, however, from the matchup at hand is that Mr. Beast Money are very clearly stronger on the Hard Rocks. The free mod rules of this tournament necessitate every single player take a mod, and you must have at least one hidden and one Hard Rock. Mr. Beast Money could most definitely bring a punch with the Hard Rock 1, with the Hard Rocks on the free mods, which is what's leading me to believe to be the reason why Quick Parsec are so deathly afraid of going to the free mod 2 anti-mod, despite being so dominant on the hidden 2. I think they're more afraid of Mr. Beast Money's Hard Rock speciality, and they lack the confidence in their hidden, I think, when it comes to beating them out on the free mods. And if the hypothesis reigns true, Mr. Beast Money suddenly has the entire free mod pool for their open at their disposal that they could look to pick into going into their last two picks. But alas, you know, we're not going to talk about the free mod pool whatsoever, and instead we're going to be taking a look at the DT4 now. This DT4, I would say, is rather gimmicky in nature. And, you know, anything gimmicky necessarily favors the likes of Yoke Spy. But at the same time, it is a very different flavor of gimmick. Gimmick is such a large genre. It's such a large genre bracket that, you know, I don't know how this DT4 will go. And there's not really a close analog to the rhythmic density DT4, the rear aim that this DT4 pushes. Aside from the fact that, we have a few control maps to go off of. But even that doesn't really tell us a lot, given how, Quick Parsec lost on the Hard Rock 3. So, yeah, this DT4 strikes me as a very interesting pick, and it might just be looking to play into the overall gimmick preference coming in from Quick Parsec, but I'm not too sure. Itomi, do you have any thoughts on this?
Honestly, generally, I feel like it should be working out nicely for Team Quick Parsec so far, right? They were pretty good on similar skill sets, right? The aim has been always close, with a small section, of course, with the HR1, but I feel like it is just a great map to just branch out into towards for the Team Quick Parsec here. Just a great opportunity to open up some more opportunities in the future, especially in the HD pool, considering that they will be still having Yoke Spy towards their team, and well, it is just a great map to enjoy even, right? The song is pretty interesting, and with DT swapped on it, it will be even more so as well. It seems like we are going to be starting it off quite soon. Good luck, have fun is in the chat. That means that the map is going to be coming towards us just in a few moments, and we are going to be enjoying it together with you.
Yep. The main the main name of the game for this DT4 is going to be about this swing rhythm, right? And when you tone the BPM up, you can expect a lot of finger control to be demanded. I would not be surprised if we saw very low accuracies all across the board on this DT4. But with that said, this is on the longer side for DT maps. This map clocks in a little under 3 minutes after DT, so there is going to be a bit of time for these players to play around with the combos here. But early days of the map, and it does seem as though everybody is at a very minimum able to play this map, play and read this map with a decent level of comfort. As I say that, however, Satsuki and Hexy both find misses, followed up by Lion, meaning that it is going to be a 1-2 combo advantage going to the side of MrBeast Money as we move into the second quarter.
It seems at least for now it will be working out not so nicely for Team Quick Parsec. Of course, it is still on the first third and the first quarter. This month there is a lot of space to turn the things around, especially as we are going to be seeing finally some mixes coming in from Team on the right. Amacetic dropping his combo, and Lion so far on the great recovery, but he's still looking a little bit shaky. Not as much as Tuto with already 97% accuracy, but the combo is still on board, and there now it is pretty much 1v1 in this situation. The lobby he was trying his best to face off against Turtle. The first one to find a miss will be getting a definite advantage towards the team. That is why we are going to be seeing a big showdown right into the second half.
Moving into the second verse of this map, right? And Tutel is really the only combo left in the lobby, the only thing pushing any form of score here. And with that, MrBeast Money is only going to continue to go up in terms of that score lead here. Completely uncontested throughout this entire map. In fact, I think even Tutel is going to continue to wreak havoc on this DT4 here. Tutel finally goes down, but that's already a 300k score lead going in favor of the side of MrBeast Money. And meanwhile, Satsuki is the largest combo, sitting at 300 combo, but even he can't get as far as he'd like with the recovery here. This is concerning, considering that Quick Parsec was the team that went for this DT4 pick, and yet MrBeast Money just seems to be able to hold a overall more consistent score on a whole. Right, Tutel might be lacking in terms of the accuracy, but that lack in accuracy is wholly being made up by Amacetic here, and where Tutel falls short in terms of the accuracy, he more than makes up for it in his combo. As we move into the last sections of the map, Tomi, I think this is gonna be a very easy breakpoint going to the hands of MrBeast Money. This is dangerous.
Yeah, I mean, kind of surprisingly so, but it seems like it will be giving some great omens towards the team. MrBeast Money, they will be having some of those possible picks coming up towards them, especially considering that it is not a solo performance, it is not just Tuto who is showing off right now, it is a whole team on the right line. Amacetic and Tuto all having great 450k at the least scores towards the side, and well, it will be a trouble if they're going to be picking towards some of the small ulti picks, and I'm not even really sure what you want to go for as your next pick if you are Quick Parsec here.
Yeah, I know. I mean, one by one, it seems as though Quick Parsec's avenues of attack have been shut down, and I will be the first one to admit that really across the board, it doesn't look like Quick Parsec have a very clear strategy, right? Their strategy has been reading abuse and go for the RNG. The RNG being the normal 1 and the DT1. This was the first time they deviated and went for a pick that was a little bit more risky, a little bit more ambiguous, and as soon as they let the ambiguity through, I mean, they instantly lost this DT4 point. mrbeast Money are now 1 break point up on Quick Parsec, really putting the pressure here, and they're looking to try to go to match point with this next pick. I think a Hard Rock 2 makes a lot of sense here, but I also want to see them try for a free mod pick here, just naturally because I think free mod on a whole would be very, very good. And if they can claim that territory on free mod early on in this picking phase, I think they will have a very clear pathway to victory. But alas, it looks like they are going to be going into the Hard Rock 2 as anticipated.
Yeah, I mean, so far it just seems like a logical pick, right? It is pretty much the map that is the most close in the nature to the HR that they have won the most decisively so far. Considering that, well, first of all, the mapper of this map, Ella, has been one of the mappers that was making the Hard Rock 1 for all of us to get a big seed on. And second of all, it is just a similar style, right? It is a bit of a more of a precision check, right, with 6.5 CS, but generally the length is very similar. The BPM is just a little bit lower, and the tech aspect is just a bit more accessible, right, for players. So we are going to be either seeing a lot of generally great performances right now, right, and it will be a bit more of a consistency battle, or we are just going to be seeing a Team Iris here just flying off to the moon in comparison to Team Quick Parsec.
I really like how you drew comparisons to the Hard Rock 1 that we just saw, because I think there's a lot of validity in that claim. Both of these maps are mapped by the same map, or at least part of Hard Rock 1 was mapped by Elia, and the mapper of Hard Rock 2 was Elia as well. And I think Elia has a very consistent style of tech mapping, and it's clear to see that he really likes his linear sliders, he likes straight sliders, he likes clean visuals, and this Hard Rock 2 is no exception as well. But before we get into the action, I will say, as similar as it is to Hard Rock 1, it's also a map that really feels like it's eating your inputs. You'll see later on, but there are a lot of sliders that sort of eat into the next beat. You know, you're usually counting 1, 2, 3, 4, but you know, there's a lot of sliders that eat into your beats, which could make the map feel unnecessarily snappy in nature and could make it feel very sluggish to play. And you know, when you're being forced to snap off a lot of these sliders on CS 6.5, I mean, that's a lot more risk that you'd rather not incur when the circles are this small. But that's it, we're gonna jump straight into the action. At the end of the day, this is a rather standard comfort check on the Hard Rock 2. Nothing too crazy, no crazy flowing patterns here. Really, it's just gonna be about how well you can control your snap over the course of these 3 minutes or so.
So far, it seems like it is doing a great amount for the team. mrbeast Money, Asatsuki, and Richie Boba are going to be finding a lot of breaks right into the intro. Richie Boba has been finding a lot of accuracy drops, a lot of chain misses, already sitting at 80% accuracy, and well, you cannot really do much if you are performing so far like that. At least it is only the first sort. There is going to be at least some space, at least some glimmer of hope if Hivkyo and Satsuki are going to be able to recover, get some great combos on board, but it is not going to be the case. Hivkyo and Satsuki finding double break, and now it seems like the only person performing greatly right now is Lion with our still 540 combo and counting little by little as he's just breezing through the first half of this map.
Yeah, I mean, breezing is an understatement, right? Nobody in the lobby can even begin to hold the key to what Lion is putting on show here. Second half of the map is underway, and even looking at the recovery, I mean, I unfortunately, as I say that 2-2, and I'm starting my final miss, but really, the recovery is doing more than enough to hold Lychee Boba and Hivkyo off any hope of recovery here. We're moving into the instrumental interlude here, a bit of a filler section here, but you know, where this map lacks in raw intensity in terms of the drums, this map makes up in the large jumps that come to attack these players, and we're instantly seeing a multitude of players falling all across the lobby. In fact, the entire rank of Quick Parsec have all fell in that one section. And meanwhile, look at the bottom right side of the screen. It's gonna be Lion continuing to push a 1k combo lead, a 1k combo FC going to the last quarter of the map. I mean, there's only 30 seconds left, and it's already a 557k score lead going into the final sections of this map. The momentum halting sliders are coming in, and it's just for show points now. Lion, everybody's watching, wondering if we're gonna be able to see the first FC of this match. I mean, and if there was any player closer to doing as such, it would be Lion here. This is the most difficult sections of the map, and unfortunately Lion just barely falls short here, but it does not detract from just how incredible this Hard Rock 2 performance was. In fact, I think Lion almost 1v3 the entirety of Quick Parsec on this map, and you know, that is a way to go to match point. That is momentum for mrbeast money, and now Quick Parsec have a knife pressed against their throat.
Wow, what an unfortunate slider break, right? And a few misses at the end of the swap, but incredible performance from Lion, right? Especially after the Hard Rock 1, where there were other people that were popping off a little bit more from his team, but it seems like he was able to get some thoughts into the right mind and just perform, get incredible stuff out of the way, and get his team towards the match point, I believe, of this match. And you cannot ask for more, especially as we are still going to be seeing some of those very interesting maps of the pool still available for Team mrbeast money, especially some of those free mods.
Yeah, no, the free mods are just so incredibly risky for Quick Parsec here. I mean, every single Hard Rock has been very easily won by mrbeast money, and really, I don't know what they can go into. And with this pick coming in from free mod, this free mod 4 pick coming in from Quick Parsec, I'm well, regardless, right? mrbeast money is threatening to end the match right here, right now. We are currently on the cusp of mrbeast money just running away with the scoreboard. So regardless, every pick from Quick Parsec is gonna be risky, but I mean, free mod is just so difficult to look at, right? Because this free mod isn't a extremely easy map like we saw from the free mod 2. In fact, I'd say that this is one of the more difficult maps on free mod. A lot of yes, the CS of this map is rather big, but I mean, the flame on this map can be incredibly tricky on both Hidden and Hard Rock. On Hidden, you know, you have the added layer of inconsistency, the added layer of doubt that's just riddled with you as you play the map. And with Hard Rock, of course, a lot of these patterns just get more and more tricky, even if the base circle size is 3. I mean, we'll have to see if this plays out for Quick Parsec here. As of right now, Control hasn't really shown to go their way in any capacity here, but then again, we haven't seen a lot of Control being picked out during the course of this match. So, yeah, we'll have to see how it goes, Tommy.
Yeah, I mean, the only good thing for us at the very least is that we are going to be seeing the last, or at least almost the last third of the normal pool original of the semifinals, and it will be a map made by Log, I believe, and I'm not really able to pronounce it, the name, because
yeah, log brackets, log brackets.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, but generally a very fun map, a very great song indeed. Very big thanks, at least for me, for making this for this pool. I'm really enjoying it, at least so far, and well, a great map to get into for Team Quick Parsec. Again, very uncertain, right? Simply because it is free mod, simply because it is going to be a tech map. So some of those more flowy elements will be getting at least some kind of a possibility, some kind of a way to get a leg in the door for Team Quick Parsec here, but it is still incredibly risky, especially in New York. We are still seeing on board some of those more accessible and simplistic maps still in play, but it seems like it is going to be the decision, it is going to be the case, possibly the last map of this matchup, and Quick Parsec are going in.
That's right. Well, from this point on, Quick Parsec are threading thin ice here. mrbeast money are just 1 point away from winning it all, so they have to make every single point count from here on out. I will say though, however, we talk about how it's a 2-point differential between mrbeast money, and it does look a lot scarier because they are currently threatening match point, but it is still important to remember that they are simply just 1 break point away, and in that sense, it does make this lead coming in from Mr. Beast Money, or makes overcoming this lead less of a daunting task. It makes it less daunting at that. Whether it actually makes it easier is a different story to tell. But with that said, we're moving into the first KI of Thanks You Raving. Already misses fill the screen, and as the dust settles, Lion is going to be the only one continuing to hold on the hidden here. But there is absolutely nothing happening from any other player on the board right now. It's a ghost town surrounding Lion here, and with that combo coming in from Lion, we are in fact going to see a lead going into the hands of Mr. Beast Money. But hold up, it's not going very, very quickly, and in fact it's shifting towards the left side as the combined efforts from Quick parsec are doing more than enough to neutralize the attack coming in from Lion, enough to quell the bleeding here. But it's not going to hold on for forever, as Life Boba and Hipkill unfortunately lose their grip on the combos. But there is absolutely no support coming in from Mr. Beast Money. If anything, it's a one-man show coming in from Dash Lion, and Sasuke is hungry to survive the onslaught here as we move into the break of this map. I mean, it's not going to be a very long break, but a very well-deserved Eye of the Hurricane before we have full throttle back into the next drop.
Yeah, it is just a moment. The only player right now standing for Team Mr. Beast Money, trying his best to just cover at least build a little bit of an advantage, a little bit of a deficit that the Team Rolls need to fill. But it is going to be working nicely. It is for now. Yes, he's still holding that combo, still holding it at C while Satsuki is going down. But there is still two threats incoming. Each bomber and Hifkill, one bomb has been defused, but Hifkill is still on the rise, still on the hunt, looking for a break finally coming in from Team Lion. But it is not happening. The gods are not answering the prayers from the Team Quick Rolls. But it is not just Lion is destroying no hope for them. He's doing what he does best. He is turning his skill switch and is able to perform when needed for his team. 140, 150, 60k score difference going up and up. And even after he did find a break, Lion falls right through. But it is still an incredible performance and more than enough to secure Mr. Beast Money and advance towards its next round.
I mean, you are a player in this match, and you look at what Lion, you look at what Tutel is putting on show, and you cannot do anything but marvel. It's not even like Quick parsec is doing particularly bad here. I mean, their overall team score is very, very solid, but what can you do when you have two hydrogen bombs on the side of Mr. Beast Money, making it virtually impossible for you to get any angle into the battle? We're moving into the last sections of the map, and I think, Tommy, you put it very, very well. Mr. Beast Money, a bit shaky in the first map, right? A bit of a rough start, but as they started to heat up, as they started to get warm, it was clear to see a level of passion in their eyes, and they never once stopped once they grabbed hold of that. Lead. And with that said, I think that's going to be a very explosive way to end off this matchup between Quick parsec and Mr. Beast Money. And with that, Mr. Beast Money will be moving on to the second semifinals match, the second week of semifinals, for a chance at that fabled top 4 position. But that's it. I think that is going to be the game, Tommy. Any last words from you before we close off the stream? Because I do believe that we have another match lined up very, very soon.
Yeah, I am only going to be saying that.
No, we don't.
Yeah.
No, we don't. But chill. We can take time.
No, at the very least, it is still going to be really fun to see that Team Mr. Beast finally is advancing. The Quick parsec were trying their best again. They were doing getting some great scores. They were able to get an edge of some of those maps, but unfortunately, it is not going to be the case for them today. They are not going to be advancing. They will be dropping out, getting eliminated from the Resurrection Cup 2026. But it is just the life of it. It is the strongest team will be staying, and right now, at least for now, it will be Mr. Beast. I will be looking closely towards what they will be doing in the future, especially if they're going to be performing as they were today in the later half. Did you see some of those performances? Wow, but yeah, hoping for the best.
Indeed, and sometimes all we can do is hope. But with that said, once again, congratulations to the victor of this matchup, being Mr. Beast Money, and unfortunately, it's going to be lights out. It's going to be Quick parsec going home from this point on, from the semifinals round of Resurrection Cup 2026. Huge shout outs to them. They had a very, very explosive run. They had a very good run in the tournament, but unfortunately, there had to be one team to go home at this point. But with that said, Tommy, I think this is a good place to round things off. So with that said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all so much for watching this semi-finals lower bracket matchup. And until we see you guys tomorrow. Oh wait, no, is it tomorrow? Wait, hold up. It does look like no. This is gonna be the last match for tonight. And you know, the rest of the matches will be happening on Sunday from the time range of 10 UTC to 2 UTC to 20 UTC. So if you guys are interested in checking out the matches to come tomorrow, do hop on over to our socials, do join the server to get updates on streams whenever they do happen. But of course, until then, ladies and gentlemen, my name has been Gammy Crayola, his name has been Atomy1. Huge shout outs to Pickstall for being our lovely streamer, and you are watching the Resurrection Cup 2026, and we will see you tomorrow. Goodbye, guys.
Bye-bye.